Austen Lane, ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jags, giving you my 3 takeaways, my 3 observations. Frustration at an all-time high. So let's get in, let's get out so I can move on from this game that I just witnessed. Jaguars lose 34-16. Observation number 1, the defense. For the 5th straight game, this defense has given up 30 points at least. You're not going to win many games like that. Yes, Avery Jones was out today. Yes, Josh Allen was out. Yes, Miles Jack went out during the game. And you know what? I don't care. Because the whole goal of this defense is supposed to be to stop the run. That's what was preached at us during training camp. That's what the coaches always tell us, and that's what the players always tell us. Surrendering 180 yards on the ground is not stopping the run. Letting DeAndre Swift have the game of his career, not stopping the run. And the frustration builds from me because this defense, the way it operates is, and when Pete Carroll implemented it, or whoever implemented this defense a decade ago, whenever it was, there was one goal to it. And it was to prevent the inside runs. It was to make runs bounce to the outside, make runs bounce east to west. How many runs today did you just see the Jaguars get gashed right down the middle on? Too many to count. Well, there's Adrian Peterson, who's 40-something years old, and with all due respect to him, but he's old. DeAndre Swift, who's a rookie. Kerryon Johnson, name your running back, you did good today because you ran right down the teeth of the defense. And listen, I don't have to get into it anymore. You guys watch this game. Go back and watch my 4 other videos I talked about this defense. Once again, there's no interior play. There's no interior pass rush. When there is some resemblance of a rush, once again, rush lanes are not manned, and Matthew Stafford on his first opening drive here runs for 14 yards and a first down on a pivotal 3rd down. Okay? It's all the same. I broke this down before. Nothing's changing. So I'm just going to move on to observation number 2. Observation number 2, Gardner Minshew. Listen, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't do a lot of homework for this one. I didn't memorize his stats. I didn't memorize the quarterback rating or how many, his completion percentage, the yards that he threw. I didn't memorize any of that because you know what? It doesn't really matter at this point now, does it? Because at the end of the day, the Jaguars are 1-5. At the end of the day, Gardner Minshew had a lot of throws that he probably wants back, obviously, had a turnover, made some bad decisions, looks like he's pressing, and that's the bottom line, okay? I don't care about the stats anymore. All I care about is what my eyes told me watching that game. And it's what your eyes should tell you too watching this video, what you saw from Gardner Minshew. Let's be honest, it wasn't good. Yes, receivers are dropping balls. Yes, offensive line didn't do the best job blocking today. But at the end of the day, when your back's against the wall and your team needs a win and you're going through adversity, you look towards your general. You look to the quarterback, you look to the captain. And unfortunately today for Gardner Minshew, he just didn't have it. He had some of the worst throws that I've seen him throw so far this season, maybe in his career. And it just was not a good look today for that Jaguars offense. Anytime you score 16 points in the NFL, especially this modern NFL, you aren't going to win games, okay? So it's as simple as that. Don't tell me what the stats were. Don't tell me the completion percentage looked good. I really don't care. You're 1-5. You scored 16 points, and you had a lot of bad passes. Enough said. Observation number 3, and we are flying along right now, and I like it because I don't want to talk about this game anymore. Observation number 3, this comes down to coaching. Even more than the defense, the biggest takeaway from this game to me is the coaching, okay? And I'm talking about the coaching in general. You got this sense, and there's rumors going around, everyone's talking about it, that if Matt Patricia didn't win this game, he was going to be fired. And you know what? I believe those rumors. Because if you watched how that Lions team came out and played, especially their defense, that was a statement game for them. They played with intensity, they played with reckless abandonment, and they played with that swag. Every member of that defense had that dog in them today, right? You saw them celebrating. You saw the hard hits. That had Matt Patricia written all over it, right? Because he's a defensive-minded guy. And when we talk about the Detroit Lions, and we broke this down kind of during the show this past week, it's the fact that, listen, the story was evident what you're going to try to do against the Lions. That's run the ball. The Lions have the worst, if not the second to worst, rush defense in the entire NFL, okay? They were getting gashed game by game by running backs. So you knew James Robinson was going to have a field day. Well, guess what? James Robinson, 12 carries, 29 yards, that I memorized, did not have a field day today. And do you know why? It's because Matt Patricia put his scheme in and is like, you know what? If I'm going to get fired, I'm going to get fired doing this things my way. We got to stop the run. We got to stop James Robinson, and we'll put it in Minshew's hands. And that's exactly what the Detroit Lions did. And you know what? That's exactly what happened. So Matt Patricia and the Detroit Lions, they deserve to win this game. Matt Patricia, congratulations to you. You saved your job for another week because you called a heck of a game on defense. You stopped the run. The writing was on the wall. The Jaguars wanted to run James Robinson. We're all looking for it. And Matt Patricia and his defensive genius found a way to shut it down. On the other side of the coin, the whole goal this year for the Jacksonville Jaguars is to stop the run. And did they stop the run? No, we saw more of the same. My point of the matter is, listen, the Detroit Lions on their defensive line, and with all due respect to them, they don't scare me, okay? The players shouldn't scare anybody, okay? And they've been gashed week by week in the run. But you know what? When it's time to step up and say no more, they stepped up. The Jacksonville Jaguars have yet to do that this season. And that's led by coaching. That's where my frustration is coming from the coaching aspect. And one little other caveat. And listen, John Brown, swag for days, man. You look good on the sidelines, but at the end of the day, you missed a field goal. Okay? And I don't know who's to blame for this one, but when you hire a kicker to kick for your team in meaningful NFL games, and he's never kicked a field goal before is in his entire NFL career, I got to ask the question, what are we doing right now? Okay, I didn't know that until that news dropped today during the game. I had no idea that John Brown has never kicked a field goal before in a game. Is he the best option right now in the entire NFL? Is he the best option in free agency? What is Josh Scobie doing right now? I would have took Scobie after what I saw after that. Now listen, Josh Lambo hopefully comes back this week. But what are we doing with this kicking situation? Like, honestly, you hired a guy who has never attempted a field goal in the NFL before? Why? What is going on here? Okay? So, listen, there wasn't a lot of good out of it, okay, this entire game. To be fair, and I know there's some good out there, nothing's really coming to mind right now. This is the shortest video that I've done for good reason. I want to be done with this. But my frustration will boil over tomorrow, Monday, 3 to 6 Eastern. Check your local listings, ESPN 690. Tune in, and I'll share a lot more of my thoughts. And I'm going to literally extinguish Brent Martineau's Sunshine and Rainbows campaign because, let's be honest, if you're a Jaguars fan right now, there is nothing to be optimistic about unless you're into the draft. Y'all have a good one. Take it easy and stay casual.